labor shortages have global implications. Louis Kaus, Asia economics head at consultancy Oxford Economics, sees the effects of COVID-19 as far more long-term and more global than that of the 2003 SARS epidemic, when China's role in the world's economy was much smaller.
There seems to be in financial markets the understanding that, yes, it's very serious, but it's going to be short-lived and soon we'll be back to normal.
This month, China announced policies to help smaller firms who are going bankrupt, but
as long as firms cannot or are told not to open up, and as long as people simply stay at home, expansionary macroeconomic policies, I don't think will have a lot of
30s somehow are now more appropriate that we're in our 40s and 50s and 60s.
I'm Layla Falded, Huey Lewis, and the latest news. That's tomorrow on All Things Considered from NPR News.
All Things Considered tomorrow from 5 to 6 on 89.3 WFPL. You're listening to All Things Considered on WFPL. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Janice Franklin. News headlines from NPR on the way. Clear skies tonight, overnight temperatures in the middle and upper teens, increasing clouds tomorrow, highs in the mid-40s, cloudy for Sunday, highs near 50, and a bit warmer on Monday. Mostly cloudy skies, highs approaching 60. Right now, fair skies, 27 degrees downtown Louisville at 5:30. It's All Things Considered from NPR News. I'm Audie Cornish. And I'm Mary Louise Kelly. Coming up, men in Kenya boycott Valentine's Day.
I didn't catch what that was because the bots are a little aggressive. So I'm driving, so I didn't look over it either.
What it says about the culture wars there after the news.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Louise Schiavone. The World Health Organization is saying today that latest figures from China show that the number of health workers there who've contracted the coronavirus appears to have peaked and is going down. The question is, why was it so high at first? WHO official Dr. Michael Ryan spoke at a news conference in Geneva.
This outbreak has expanded very quickly in an unsuspecting health system. So we also need to look at how many of those health workers were exposed unknowingly within a clinical environment. How many were waiting particularly.
I do apologize if it was something good or interesting or important.
The CDC
However, I will see if I can go back and look at it at some point later on.
have been identified in the U.S. There have been no deaths among them. All but 2 of those cases were in people who had traveled to Wuhan, China, the epicenter of the outbreak. The remaining 2 were spread from travelers to their spouses. Since New Hampshire's primary, presidential hopeful Tom Steyer is the first candidate to visit Nevada leading up to the state's caucus. From member station KUNR in Reno, Stephanie Serrano has more.
With Nevada's live caucus on February 22nd and early voting starting this weekend, Steyer placed way out of the top 3 in both New Hampshire and Iowa. But Steyer says he feels confident going into this contest.
I'm excited about Nevada, honestly. I feel like this is a brand new race. It's wide open.
Steyer says his ground game in Nevada is strong, and he has no regrets about the millions of dollars spent on digital advertising in both Iowa and New Hampshire. He won't have Nevada to himself for long. Senators Amy Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and former Mayor Pete Buttigieg will be here this weekend. For NPR News, I'm Stephanie Serrano in Reno.
Wall Street today, the Dow closed down 25, the Nasdaq closed up 19. This is NPR News. It was a big Valentine's Day at Philadelphia's City Hall today, where more than 4 dozen weddings were performed during the lunch hour ceremonies. WHYY's Tom McDonald reports the tradition has been going on for decades.
The courtroom was sectioned into more than a half dozen wedding stations.
Nevada power invested in me by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It is my pleasure to announce you husband and wife. You may kiss your bride.
50 couples lined up for the City Hall courtroom Valentine's Day weddings. Margaret Giles and Eduardo Dixon were among those who opted for the special day.
Actually, he picked this day. I think it was because he didn't want to forget our anniversary.
I say it was, I popped the question on Thanksgiving because I was thankful for her. And yes, Valentine's Day would be hard to forget for my sweetheart.
The dress code for the noontime nuptials ran the gamut, from matching red sweatshirts to expensive gowns and tuxedos. For NPR News, I'm Tom McDonald in Philadelphia.
In some upper Midwest communities, some students spent Valentine's Day at home as a biting cold front swept across the northern plains to parts of the Great Lakes in northern New England. Earlier today, wind chill readings in northern Minnesota dropped to about 30 degrees below zero. More moderate temperatures forecast for the weekend in the south after a week of heavy rain. Floods threaten in Mississippi and Alabama. I'm Louise Schiavone, NPR News.
You're listening to All Things Considered on 89.3 WFPL. I'm Janice Franklin. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. Coming up, we'll check the week in Kentucky politics with Capitol reporter Rylan Barton. It's this week's edition of Kentucky Politics Distilled, coming up in 10 minutes on WFPL.
Support for 89.3 WFPL comes from Hospice Health. Serious illness can strike any person at any stage of life. The medical staff at Hospice Health can provide pain and symptom management, specialized in supportive care services. More at the 24/7 expert care line, 800-264-0521. From the University of Kentucky Gatton College of Business and Economics, sponsor of the 10th Annual Supply Chain Forum, Thursday the 27th. This year's theme is Converging Digital and Physical Supply Chains. Details and registration at gatton.uky.edu/SCF.
Clear skies tonight, overnight temperatures in the middle teens, increasing clouds tomorrow, highs in the mid-40s.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from Procter & Gamble, maker of Align Probiotic, a daily supplement to support digestive health, containing a probiotic strain developed by gastroenterologists with 20 years of research. More at alignprobiotics.com. And from Capterra for searching for business software. Users can find software features, filter options, read reviews, and compare software side by side. Learn more at capterra.com/NPR.
From NPR News, it's All Things Considered. I'm Mary Louise Kelly.
And I'm Audie Cornish. The prosecution delivered its final argument in the sex crimes trial of former Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein today in New York. Assistant District Attorney Joan Iluzzi stood in front of the jury for 3 hours, forcefully making the case that Weinstein was guilty of 5 charges of rape and assault. NPR's Rose Friedman was in the courthouse. Hey there, Rose.
Hi, Audie.
Before we get started, want to have a warning to listeners that for the next few minutes, this story is going to involve descriptions of sexual assault alleged in this case. And to come back to that, how did the prosecution try to re-establish its framing of this after the defense tried to tear it down in closing arguments yesterday?
Yeah, the jury spent weeks listening to the testimony of women who alleged that Weinstein raped or assaulted them, which Weinstein denies. But they also spent weeks hearing Weinstein's lawyers try to poke holes in those stories. So, introducing doubts about the details. So, Joan Iluzzi really had to give the jury a consistent, believable narrative about each woman. And then the other thing she did was to describe the women in the case as moral people. A huge part of the defense has been that all 6 women who testified are lying, that they had consensual relationships with Weinstein, and that they're now reframing as abuse. So Iluzzi made the point that none of them had to come forward. She said, I'm quoting, "They didn't come for a beauty contest, they didn't come for money, for fame, they came to be heard. They sacrificed their dignity, their privacy, and their peace for the prospect that their voices would be enough for justice." She said the question before the jury isn't whether those women made good or bad decisions, it's whether they're telling the truth.
The charges, though, involve crimes against 2 women. What were the stories Iluzzi told about them?
Miriam Haley and Jessica Mann, they're sort of the heart of the case. Iluzzi portrayed both of them as people who really had no power in the world. Miriam Haley, she said, had an abusive stepfather. Jessica Mann left a religion she described as a cult. So not much family support, very little money. Iluzzi illustrated that power difference by coming back to this phrase over and over again, Harvey Weinstein everything, witnesses nothing. She basically described a predator who she said was the master of his universe, and the witnesses who were merely ants he could step on with no consequence.
There were other women who were part of this case. Can you explain their roles?
4 other women testified that Harvey Weinstein had abused them. Of those 4, actress Annabella Shura is the one who's part of the charges. If the jury believes her story as well as Jessica Mann's or Miriam Haley's, Weinstein could face a longer sentence up to life in prison. Shura's story is a little different from the other 2. She was an established actress when she says Weinstein dropped her off at her apartment after a dinner in the winter of 1993 and then returned and raped her. As Iluzzi pointed out, she was someone who went to dinners with Uma Thurman, who dated Gary Oldman. If she talked, Iluzzi said someone might believe her. And when Weinstein found out that journalists were calling Shura for her story, Iluzzi showed the jury an email he sent to his PR team telling them to say, quote, "This was consensual or deny it." Iluzzi told the jury that was tantamount to a confession. She said consensual or deny it are the polar opposites of each other.
And emails played a big role in the defense's case, right?
Yeah. Weinstein's team showed the jury friendly emails from Miriam Haley and Jessica Mann after the alleged assaults. Their argument was, this isn't how you talk to someone who raped you. Iluzzi had a really different point to make about this topic, that rape can happen in ongoing relationships. Talking about Jessica Mann, she says, quote, "Jessica
their deliberations on Tuesday.
That's NPR's Rose Friedman. Thanks for your reporting.
Thanks, Alex.
Efforts to reach a big national opioid settlement have hit another snag. More than 20 state attorneys general have signed a letter rejecting an $18 billion deal proposed by 3 of the country's biggest opioid wholesalers. This was first reported today by the Wall Street Journal. Brian Mann with North Country Public Radio follows opioid litigation for NPR. He joins me now via Skype. Hey there.
Hi.
So that is a lot of money on the table that could help ease the opioid epidemic. Why are so many states saying no thanks?
Yeah, it does sound like a lot of money, and this settlement would involve just 3 firms, Amerisource, Berrigan, McKesson, and...
Where's your voicemail box not set up?
My phone's on silent and it's almost dead.
What do you got there?
Cookie for you.
Cookie for me? Where's it from? Who made it?
Gigi.
Oh, snap. I'll just take it right now. Look at this Cookie. Look at this boy. There's Cookie. All right, let's do this.
Is it good?
Yes. Have you eaten?
I had Los Aztecas earlier.
How long ago was earlier?
Like 3 o'clock.
We're good.
Yeah, my Gigi makes the best snack stuff.
I actually got great parking today. For like the first time ever come down here.
Yeah. Do you like my new shirt?
That was awesome.
I know. And we got it from Aeropostale, which I think is awesome.
Oh.
I know I like Xbox, but still. Original PlayStation. Come on.
Feel the keys? Come on, keys. Back up here. What would you like to do for your dinner?
Oh, I don't know. This is good. It's coconut.
Let's figure this out. What are we gonna do for dinner?
I don't know. What do you want to do for dinner?
I'm gonna go home and eat soup myself because there's not much else I can really eat.
That's right.
Like, I can eat this because it's super soft and chewy.
I forgot about the M&Ms, but those can just easily dissolve in your mouth.
Well, that's what I said, super soft and chewy. So I'm good with this.
I know you like cookies and M&Ms. So. Well, if you're just gonna go home and eat soup, then I really don't care what I have. Because I'm honestly not even really that hungry as well. Because I ate at 3. And it's now 5. It's been a good 2 hours, so.
Soon we're done with the cookie, we're gonna get going.
Right. You're just speaking gibberish.
In the project by the end of this year.
Why does your car sound louder than usual?
Okay,
Because of where we're at.
Gun control advocates rallied at the state capitol this week. That's a few weeks after armed gun rights advocates rallied at the capitol. What were gun control advocates asking for? I know that one of the people supports the red flag law.
Yeah, so it's this red flag laws are proposals that would allow family members or law enforcement to ask a court to temporarily take firearms away from somebody who's deemed to be a danger to themselves or others. This is the big point that they're rallying around. There's actually been some signal of bipartisan support for red flag laws in Kentucky. Anita Franklin, whose son was fatally shot in Lexington in 2014, she was at this rally and she was calling on legislators to push for these kinds of proposals because she says politics.
Just like we elected a new governor, changes can and will be made.
However, there really hasn't been any movement on this since the legislative session started.
There were also lemon cookies, but
so we're kind of unsure at this point if anything's going to go forward, especially in the wake of all the other gun rights rallies that have been happening in the Capitol, and probably putting a lot of those lawmakers who are on the fence about supporting that kind of legislation.
I know that. I'm just saying you said lemon cookies, but yeah what?
And trying to push for some of these bills. So we will see if that is true. We're
I was like saying, but yeah,
just about the halfway point.
You got that.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Rylan, thank you. Speaking with
Because the phrasing didn't make sense in an English structure. It threw me off for a second because I know that you're going to follow it up with something else.
To All Things Considered on 89.3 WFPL.
That's 97.1 FM. The broadcast to radio out of.
From Rabuni Catholic Community, a compassionate, inclusive community of faith discovering new
They
and
came to my school before for an
We're
event.
all are welcome at Christ's table. Rabuni is celebrating 10 years in Louisville and Lebanon. More at the other Catholic stock party from the Louisville Zoo, now enrolling for safari day camps for spring and summer with extended hours.
I got to see my stepmother's
large animal presentations and up close encounters with local ambassadors.
Is Joe
Details and
McKim,
registration at louisvillezoo.org/camps.
wife to Britton McKim.
You're seeing, some discomfort, particularly among moderate Republicans who tried to give the president the benefit of the doubt by standing with him in the impeachment trial.
No, we're on Fifth, but what road is this?
They'll be more restrained in the future.
Broadway.
Well,
Right.
what you're hearing a lot of people saying is that doesn't seem to be the case. I'm Michael Obama, and that's today on the Daily from the New York Times.
The Daily is coming up at 6 on 89.3 WFPL.
89.3 WFPL is proud to sponsor the Leadership Louisville Center, hosting their Best of Leadership Summit on March 4th. Keynote speakers include author Dan Heath and the editor-in-chief of Fast Company magazine. The author of Harvard Business Review's Guide to Dealing with Conflict will
Pakistani Indian.
With my dad, that's where I used to get my hair cut.
Tomorrow we'll see highs in the mid-40s.
Beards and beards.
Mostly cloudy for Sunday, a bit warmer.
And that's where he got his beard trimmed.
It's All Things Considered on 89.3 WFPL and WFPL.org.
This is All Things Considered from NPR News. I'm Mary Louise Kelly.
And I'm Audie Cornish. In Kenya today, some men are boycotting Valentine's Day and going instead to men's empowerment conferences. And there's Ada Peralta joined me earlier from Nairobi with some of the attendees.
So I'm at one of the after parties of these so-called men's conferences, and it's a bar, and there are a lot of men, but actually quite a few women too. And look, Audie, all of this here in Kenya started as a joke on social media a few years ago. It was a bunch of Kenyan men joking that women just wanted to fleece them on Valentine's Day, but this really touched a nerve here, and suddenly,
look at that airplane.
A pastor had one of these conferences last year, and this year they are everywhere. I actually have two friends here, James Ambole.
It's flying really close to that building.
Left their girlfriends behind today.
It's not as close as it looks.
And Audie, I'm gonna let you talk some sense into them.
Hi.
Hi.
Why did you need to get away from your girlfriends tonight?
Today is all about us, as men, meeting, talking men's stuff and stuff. That's what I was talking about, you know?
On this day that you don't talk about the rest
A
of the
strange
year.
license plate,
How
RR22.
to
Peter
unite
Pitt.
men, because men are being empowered, men are left behind. Okay, so now what's happening is we are trying to, help the boy child as well, because most of the times you can see that
His
dads are
nose.
becoming lawyers, which is not bad.
But his
Dads are becoming
clothes.
lawyers and
Yep.
doctors
Is this
and,
market?
big
This
names,
market.
and we need to also empower the boy child, who is looked at as the man of the home, and empower them and encourage them to do it in life. Yeah.
Every organization right now is doing women empowerment and everything. And it's like, it's gone beyond. Right now, the boy child has been promoted. They're pushing to drugs and stuff. They're all over. Some are getting lazy because the ladies have overshadowed them.
Oh my God,
So
I
you have
hate
to-
Louisville
you have to
traffic
punch these guys.
sometimes.
You have to tell them, get
I don't know what
back
that
to business. Just
Ford
to
Focus right there is doing.
And we need this time
No one knows
alone.
what they're
We need
doing.
this time to party, just to talk about them. And just
Rylan's
talk to
close
them
ahead,
and
but
tell
no one
them,
knows what they're
You know
doing.
what? We are focused and we
Like,
need
if
to
they
do
weren't
this.
blocking the road
We
right
need
there,
to
we'd be able to
grow
get a little
these
bit further and get
friends
ahead.
And yeah,
But they
that's
being
it.
stupid.
Well, James,
Yeah.
James Ambole and Kevin
Hope to God they're not
Thank
gonna
you
try
so
to
much
go
for
all the way
speaking with
left.
me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just
What
go.
are you doing?
Go.
And so,
Hey, stop.
help us understand what goes
You
on
need to calm
at this
down.
conference beyond
Sorry.
the partying.
So, the big issue is that the men at this conference felt that they had lost their place in society. Women have started earning money, they've become independent, working outside the home, the rules have changed. They feel like women still have the same expectations of
right
them. And to be fair,
Nope.
there were men at the conference who said that they had to learn to be better, to be partners with women.
Close to
But
through traffic.
the lines that got the biggest applause
It's
and
4th
cheers
Street
were
Live
when
down
men
there.
said women
Right,
need to learn
but
to
you
take
can
our
only
back.
drive through up to a certain extent over there.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the ice rink and all that
Movement
stuff is
here in
out
the
right
US.
now.
Can you talk about whether in Kenya this is seen as a full-blown movement yet?
There are certainly
You got the
a
old
lot
spaghetti
of
factory
people
over here where they have
who are
spaghetti that's really
celebrating
old.
Valentine's Day, but the gender
I'm a big fan of
equality
the old
commission
spaghetti
in Kenya
factory.
actually did a study
We got
about
tacos by
and they
Mexa.
found that most
Mexa
Kenyans
tacos.
believe that society is leaving men and boys behind.
Yeah, I
So
went
what
to
you've
the
seen
old
this
spaghetti
year
factory
particularly
before with my
is
dad.
this
They
has
gave
taken
me
over the
a
country. This has
small
taken
plate of
over the
spaghetti like this big.
conversation of the country. So
Like
yeah, I think it
this
is a
big,
full-blown
but
movement.
2 big massive
Can I ask how women are
meatballs.
feeling about
Yeah,
it?
that's traditional
You know,
spaghetti.
a lot of women actually agree with
They were
the
massive.
men
They were
in
like this
Kenya.
big.
But I spoke to
Yeah.
Grace
It wasn't that good, was it, though?
An academic who studies gender.
I mean, it was
And when I brought
decent.
up the
Old spaghetti
feelings
factory's
of
terrible.
inadequacy by men, she laughed.
It's not the best
for about
spaghetti I've
30
ever had,
seconds,
but-
I
because
legit have no idea why so many people are so excited to go there.
unequal place. The Constitution, for example, mandates that 1/3 of Parliament should be women, and that has never been attained. So
My dad says
men's
it's good.
complaints ring
Your dad has no
hollow to
taste
her.
then.
But this professor, she
'Cause they are
says
terrible.
changes have happened really fast here in
Excuse me.
Kenya. Women have gotten jobs, and they've
I've eaten
left
there
bad men because
probably
they
at
now have
least
the means
30
to
different
success.
times because
Divorce
people
rates are up,
keep trying to
marriage
take me
rates
there.
are down. And
Every
she
time, it's
says
always
it
been very
feels like
disappointing.
women and men are at war right now in Kenya. But she
And they
says
don't
that
change the
change
recipe
always
to make it
feels
any
like a
better.
crisis, and things will settle down, she says, when men accept that women will not go back to staying quiet and staying at home.
I hate this time.
Boycotting
There's nothing to
Valentine's
hate about
Day.
it.
Thanks so much.
It's traffic. That's what it is, and you deal. You survive and you move on.
By the way, I was watching TikTok earlier, and there's this guy who does this thing called American Monster Series, and he talks about monster sightings that have been spotted in America. And I found out that the Goat Man lives in Louisville.
Yeah, he's in J-Town.
Yeah, and there's one bridge where he lives,
Yep.
and two
Trestle.
people were there, and one got pushed off by a bridge they were on.
There's been over 60 deaths on that bridge.
I know. And some say there has been spottings of the Goat Man.
Yeah, because he lives under the bridge.
And then I forgot what it's called. I think it's called the
Goat Man's my
Wendigo.
bro.
I don't.
We don't talk about the Wendigos.
Why?
You just don't talk about them. They are a very powerful ancient spirit. You just don't talk about them.
Okay.
You know exactly what they are. Just don't talk about them.
Okay.
Saving the city. That feat inspired a popular Soviet movie. Russian TV ran an interview with Batyan to mark his
Go eat some shoes?
103rd birthday last Monday.
What?
Pick shoes.
He said he hadn't been
go
trying to
eat some
save
shoes?
Krakow. He just wanted the war to end as soon as possible. The war against Nazi Germany came to an end 4 months after the Red Army drove the Nazis out of the city.
By the way, I know it says it right there, SAS, but like in like the I forgot what it is, but like military kind of. What does the SAS stand for?
I don't know. No idea what you're talking about.
Oh.
Great Russian hero, is unknown in Poland.
The story is a Soviet propaganda publication.
Sławomir Giemski is a historian who heads the Polish Institute of International Affairs. He says the story of a gallant Soviet spy saving Krakow is an urban legend that benefits Russian President Vladimir Putin.
After Mr. Putin gained control of the Russian propaganda industry, the hero was, let's call it, nationalized to become a Russian big name.
In 2007,
Nobody's so busy
Putin
down here.
invited Batyan to the Kremlin.
Very since we're down there, might as well get ice cream.
Hero of Russia medal. The Kremlin is using
Why?
the Soviet victory
Down
over
here.
the Nazis to instill national pride among Russians.
Got a problem
So
with it?
strengthen the regime. In December, Putin reminded visiting leaders of the sacrifices the Soviet Union had made during World War II. He included Poland among the countries responsible for starting the war.
Okay.
The Soviet Union's initial collusion with Nazi Germany. Ahead of ceremony
Both those areas are no parking, bro.
75th anniversary of the war's end, the Kremlin is celebrating Soviet heroes like Alexei Batyan. After his death, the Kremlin's entrance was in mourning. Legendary intelligence officers made history. Is another question. Lucy Kim, NPR News.
They sell Ducatis there.
Huh?
They sell Ducatis at that motorcycle shop right there.
Can we go look at them?
No, they're not open right now.
Oh man.
Listening to All Things Considered.
Oh man.
I'm gonna go look at some Ducatis.
And from CNN.
All the parking spots I have is going to go for right here.
CNN original
Taking it up.
race for the White House. Taking a look back at some
You
of the
know
most
what I want?
hard-fought presidential
What do you want?
races
I want a
throughout
dirt
history.
bike.
Starting Sunday at 9 p.m. on CNN. From Subaru.
Because then I
with
could
the
get to
2020
school
Subaru
easier without
Forester,
actually
featuring
pedaling.
standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and safety technology. Love, it's what makes Subaru Subaru. Learn more at Subaru.com. And from Procter & Gamble, maker of Magnusol, a fiber supplement containing psyllium, a plant-based fiber for trapping and removing waste in the digestive system. Designed to be taken every day. More at
think this is a park stop, dog. Don't get parked.
metamucil.com/2-week challenge.
Yep, we're good.
Thanks for joining us for All Things.
Hey, don't pull the door. Don't touch the door. Just don't touch it.